Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 8. I almost said Alpha 6 right there, but it is in course Alpha 8. We are over here in the Wastelands and it is time for another build episode. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually kind of going to be prepping for the Fan Creation Friday stream with Boomkin. He hasn't confirmed that I'm going to be in it yet, but I still want to kind of prep this place up, do a little bit of like touches and stuff so that people can come over here and start looking around this place, because as I mentioned last time, we're actually getting pretty damn close to finishing the main cavern area. So I want to be able to open this place up, publish it in some form, and you guys can come along and have a look around and all of that kind of fun stuff. Now, at the moment, it still doesn't have a name, but that's okay. We'll probably do that in today's episode. But yeah, so the plan today is actually to go through and use up all of this gravel. So I've got 12 and a bit stacks of gravel here, and hopefully that's going to be enough to kind of pad out this area here and add a bit more space around the edges. So I kind of want to fill out and hit over to this pile of rocks, and I also want to fill out over the edge here somewhere as well and actually have a place that the airship goes down. Now, the airship may not be like visible, and in actual fact it may probably, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hide the airship in this case, as I've done in a couple of my previous builds, just because I want this thing to feel like an adventure feels, which means we're going to have to build something that you kind of land in. So that might even be one of the first things we do. Actually, that's not true. The first thing we do is we are going to gravel this place up as the very first thing. And then after we've done that, we will start building some other stuff around here and make it look all awesome and everything and ready to go. So yeah, definitely want to start out with a bit of a, yeah, like a little spawn-in structure. So we're going to obviously put the airship in underground somewhere and cover it in some like black stone, because it's kind of the closest thing I have right now to that unbreakable black stone that you start on. So what we're going to do is probably going to sit down, I think, down about here somewhere, and then we're going to build like a little pathway or a ladder or something up. You know how last couple of episodes I've had those type of like little underground room type things that I've started in. We're going to try and recreate something like that. Of course, the entrance to this thing that we haven't really seen too much, so I kind of started building this guy and I've been flying around it ever since, so I haven't really come in through the entrance ever, but that's where that is, so that once you guys actually do have access to this island, you can come over here, find this guy, and head on down through and check this place out for yourselves. Obviously, I try and do my very best on video like this to give a sense of scale and how everything is going, but it's not, you know, video is not always the best medium. Actually coming and having a look at something for yourself is always really awesome. It just adds a different feel to a build or something along those lines. Anyway, I'm going to finish cleaning this place up. I think my real first job is I'm going to clean off these other floating islands out here. I've done a pretty good job with the rest of them. I cleaned off that at some other point. I don't really know exactly when I did that, but I'm going to clean these guys off as well, just kind of tidy this place up a little bit, and yeah, get started. Then we can start placing some gravel down, and yeah, just power on through for the day, I think. So this place is starting to look absolutely horrible, and that is beautiful. It's perfect and amazing. Check it out. This gravel just looks gross and ugly, and that is absolutely perfect. So as you can see, I've kind of like left holes in the landscape and things, and this type of stuff I'm going to be exaggerating a huge amount. Like this large flat section of gravel is probably going to start getting really undulated and getting lots of holes and stuff in it, I think, at some point. Yeah, but I think, like I said, it's going pretty damn well right now. I'm really loving this, and yeah, the boots of placing really do just help immensely putting all this stuff down. Now, obviously, I have burnt through a very large amount of gravel. Thankfully, I did have a very large amount of gravel, so I've got 6 and a bit stacks left, so that means I've gone through about half doing this much of the island, which means I'll probably get a little bit more up through that way, but then of course I do want to start spawning out down this way so that I can get my structure in place that is going to have the airship in it. Now I need to actually work out too how far down I can go so that I can make sure I put the airship as low as possible so that you then actually do have to climb up out of something to actually go through and yeah, move on with this adventure and so forth. Now, another couple of really exciting things that have happened, and these have happened very recently. We now have the small shelter recipe, which is beautiful because that means that we can now actually make a few of these guys up and start finishing off those dining, or not dining, the bunk rooms that we made a couple of episodes back. Now, we've also got these guys. Check this out. Iron Gate Sinister. I am so keen for this. I need to find somewhere to put this in this build so far because it looks so cool. Oh, check it out. It's amazing. Alright, I'm going to be definitely building one of these, probably even building one of these on camera today and putting it down somewhere because that's pretty cool. So yeah, both of these guys are actually have been on sale. So yeah, there you go. They're on sale, and that was just awesome. I found those, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I absolutely need those. I mean, if you've been around the channel for any length of time at all, you've probably heard me talk about wanting some of those at some point, because I have mentioned it quite a few times now, and I'm so glad I've finally got my hands on them. Anyway, we were continuing on with the gravel, and hopefully I can gravel out to a point so that we can actually get started on doing the little indenty plot part. And I also want to do kind of like a mangled and damaged house at the top of it as well, which I think is going to look pretty cool. So let's crack on and do some of that, shall we? So we now have a bit of a start location. So if you have a look at this little piece, we'll talk about the actual shape of this thing in a second. This is going to be kind of a burnt out wrecked house, and then down in here we have our nice little start area. So in under there, you can just probably hear that right now, it is the airship. So when you spawn in, you actually spawn in right on top of this block here, and you'll be facing here, and there's going to be a ladder 3 wide going up that way out here. And then of course, like I said, this is going to be a bit of a wrecked and burnt out house. Now I'm kind of struggling with this concept a little bit right now, so what I might have to do is actually build the house up and then just smash it to pieces with a pickaxe and make it look wrecked and damaged. Now, the shape of this guy here is kind of sort of a little bit of a send up, but also a little bit of basically just how the terrain generation works. So right now in SkySaga, you've probably seen this, basically the terrain gets generated first and then locations get generated afterwards, meaning that there are certain locations where you've got like a nice big round flat section just near the thing that you're actually being spawned into, and that is exactly what this is. This is deliberately down a couple of levels and deliberately left round and flat, so that basically it's supposed to kind of give that same idea. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to place down a couple of layers of dirt going around the edge, and then probably add some clay and stuff into the mix as well, and then kind of merge it back up towards here, but have this as kind of like a bit of a small cliff face, basically. And yeah, kind of merge it back down around the edges here. So it really does feel a little bit more like an actual adventure, and yeah, a little bit less like a constructed bit. So yeah, we'll see how all this goes. I mean, it's kind of early days with this stuff yet. I'm really still just trying to get my head around mimicking the terrain and all of that kind of stuff. It's a bit of an experience and a bit of a process, but that's okay. I'm slowly but surely getting there. And of course, this being the wastelands in a brand new biome, there are some things that I'm basically just going to have to define myself. And the way that the terrain generation takes place is probably one of those main things. So anyway, I'm going to start graveling this area over here, getting it back up over this way close towards the edge so that we can start actually building down towards this guy over here. So it's probably going to have to come about like that, I would say. And the chickens are now just falling off the edge. Good work, chickens. That's fine. You can do that. That way you will all be dead before Boomkin gets here. It's probably for the best anyway. Alright, I'm going to keep working around on this type of stuff, and we'll see how all of this goes. I'm pretty sure this is going to look pretty good, and it's going to make it look just a little bit more like it's actually supposed to be an in-world adventure. There we go! Much, much better. Check that thing out. This definitely looks like it's actually supposed to be part of something now, and I'm really excited. That is awesome. Also, I'm going to throw down a barrel somewhere around here. I don't really know why. It's going to go down there and it's going to stay there. Oh well, at least I think it's going to stay there right now. Obviously, I do need to build the house up around this thing and see what that house is supposed to look like. And once I've got that, I will knock it back down again. Now, these guys over here are actually inkwood blocks. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to build some wood into the house, and then some of that wood I'm actually going to replace with inkwood and have it look like it's kind of like charred wood almost, as if it's kind of been on fire or something along those lines. Also, that setting sun is kind of making this a little bit difficult to see right now, but like I said, it is going quite well. Might have to change the lighting setup down here, I think, because I don't really like it as much as I used to. Maybe we put those guys on the other wall. That might work better if we put these over like here and here, maybe? Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Obviously, the next step here is probably going to be to put these ladders in, just so that we've actually got a way up and out of here. Because, of course, people need to be able to get out of our little starting area. I've taken a quick little bit of a break from doing that, guy. Basically, I'm just waiting for a whole bunch of ladders to craft up. I've got some ladders in already, but I need a few more in here. So, while I've been waiting for that to go, it has been nighttime. So, I started a little bit more work on the lava. Now, as you can see down here, the lava is actually looking a lot better. And if we come down to the correct level, you can even almost see some of the smoke effects going on down there as well. I also probably should get rid of this torch because that's going to make life a lot better. Oh, I need to come back up here. So if we stand back on here, you can see that you can actually see some of the smoke effects and things coming up. And I think it looks really good. Basically, the way I've achieved this is not only is the lava now being underlit, but it's also being lit from the top. So I've got these little things in here. These are the stone beacons, and these are actually brown stone beacons with red gems inside them, which means they give off a bit of a more red type light, which I like a lot for this thing. Although I might end up trying out some like yellow and orange and things just to see which ones are going to work absolutely best out of these. And then once I've discovered that, this is going to be my trick for lava for the whole way through. So we're going to have the braziers underneath. So that's currently what's in under here. If we have a quick look under the island, it's been a little while since we've done this, so I might as well quickly show you guys. We've got some fire pits, sitting in under here, giving us a bit of a smoke effect. Obviously, this layer here is our actual lava. And yeah, it's all going pretty well. So that and the stone beacons combined gives a really nice effect, I think. Also, that's interesting. I'm guessing, must be, yeah, here we go. This is our crafting room right there. So we can actually come to here to pick up the things that are crafting for the crafting room. That is really rather kind of cool. Also, I like the fact that you can, like, partially poke your head into a block and see what's directly above you. That's really cool. Let's see what if that does the same thing up here. Yep, perfect. I should almost take a screenshot like that. That'd be really cool. Bam. Alright, anyway, let's keep cracking on with this build. Things are going pretty well right now. I like this a lot. Also, here we go. This down here is how I've hidden away the airship. So the airship is encased. Once again, like I've done in previous alphas, the airship is encased in a 2-block thick chamber, and then directly on top of that 2-block thick chamber is the sand blocks that are down there, the black and the cyan ones, just so that you absolutely have to get spawned on the top here, because yeah, this is the closest block to the spawn point. I guess I really probably should go through and do a tutorial on that at some point, because that is quite a handy little trick to know, really, especially if you're trying to do a build like I am, where you need to modify the spawn position for somebody. Oh, and I've made one too many ladders. Oh well, that's fine. We'll store that guy away, and I'm sure we'll have a use for it in the future. Anyway, that means that this place down here is done, so our little spawn area is now complete. So I think the next trick is going to be the little destroyed house at the top here. I think that's going to be the next thing that we do. Okay, so I've now officially run out of those 12 full stacks of gravel that I had. That's insane. I can't believe I've gone through that much gravel already. It's gonna take me another couple of hours at least to get that much gravel back again. Thankfully, gravel has been added in pretty plentiful quantities to the ice world. So all I'm going to need to do is go out into one of those and just find a nice big vein of it again and mine all that out. Because, I mean, that's where those last 12 came from. They all basically came from one big vein in an ice world. So anyway, let's take a quick look at how far that's got us. Bam! Check it out. I actually really like that. And I mean, I know it's an ugly texture, but when you put a whole lot of it together and you start like cutting holes in it and doing things, it looks really good. I mean, it looks good to what I wanted it to look like when I started this build. Also, that's a problem. I need to fix that little corner up. I'm probably have to grab a little bit of gravel from somewhere else to fix up that little hole, because I am literally out. I am down to 0 gravel pieces, which is quite awkward. Anyway, we're going to go grab these and put those back over there so we don't get any grass growing. That would be nice. But yeah, I really actually like it, and I like the way it's going. It's really up to kind of what I thought it was going to look like when I started doing this build. I also like the fact I've got these random little rock piles just jutting out of the nothingness. So it's going to be interesting to kind of keep going and keep terraforming this place. Obviously, I'm going to need to terraform down to probably this level or a little bit lower and actually do out like a nice big outer ring. But that means that I'm probably going to need to go through like an entire inventory at least worth of gravel to get this thing looking anywhere near halfway decent. But anyway, that's going to be a job for another time. Obviously, we can also keep working on this thing now in Alpha 9 as well, which is really exciting, because of course all we need to do is publish it between now and Alpha 9, and then we can keep going on it in Alpha 9, and that's going to be awesome, because I have some really big plans. I think I've mentioned before, I think the next one after we've kind of done a bit more terraforming and got our lava and all of that kind of stuff in place for here is going to be a boneyard / graveyard. Now, this is one that I've attempted to do before, but I kind of moved on to other projects and ran out of time and stuff. I think it was back in Alpha 5. It may have been Alpha 6. But yeah, it's something that I definitely want to get back onto, and I have a plan for doing like a really gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex head, which I think is going to look really cool. Anyway, I think it's time to kind of keep pressing on with this. I really like the way that this lava has come together. It's looking pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look as good in the day as it does at night, but, you know, what can you do? It's always going to have one section look better than the other. So, oh well. Anyway, for now, I think I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to try filling out this place a little bit more, adding a few more decor items around, and doing all that kind of stuff. Also, in here too, I keep forgetting to mention this, we've now got a lid on the cage. So if we come into here, check it out. Look at how awesome that is. That is just, I like it so much. I'm so glad that I spent the time and the iron getting that to work. So yeah, there we go. I think this room is actually getting to be pretty damn close to being finished, which is really nice. I like it when things are almost at that point. And of course down here we still have a bit of work. We need to put a big chest down here, which is the boss chest. I also still need to go through and recolor these stalactites. I haven't actually done that yet. But anyway, let's keep moving on, keep doing some work, and see how well we can get this place made up before the Friday stream. Alright, so here we go. I've actually gone through and added a few more decor items around the place. There hasn't really been much changed out over here. This place is looking pretty good and also pretty full up, so I'm pretty sure this guy's never going to be touched again. We're just going to leave that exactly as is, because I kind of like it exactly where it sits right now. So we're going to leave that one there. The rest of the stuff, though, has had a bit of a touch-up. So I've had a few other recipes come through that I could use, so I've just kind of been making sure I've used all of those. So I've started with putting down some of these blacksmith's chests everywhere, pretty much. And I also need to build a couple more just here on camera, or in fact, one right now, because that's all I've got materials for. But anyway, we're been putting those around down the place. I've also had some stove recipes and things that have gone down. So I've got one stove here and one stove there, and of course, one of the brand new blacksmith's chests. So these are kind of small details, but they're things that kind of make this feel a little bit more like it's actually an adventure, and that's really the point of all of this, is making this feel like it is actually an adventure. And of course, up here, not much has changed in the cave that's at the top. So here we go, this is the cave. Not really much has changed up here, although I probably do need to come in here and kind of widen this out. Maybe a little, I'm not really sure on that one just yet. These guys over here have had a bit of a change, so they've actually got the shelters in them now. I still need to find the jail bench recipe and get that in there, but that's going pretty well. So that's in all of these along here, including this little guy that's only one side of all of that. And also, I did the other ones in brown in here, so we've got some brown and some purple in here. These purple ones may get changed eventually. I don't really know quite yet, but they are coming along quite well. I'm going down in here. I've added a candle here for lighting and decor instances, and then in here we've got our large blacksmith's chest all the way out in the archery range, so you kind of actually have to come out in here to get to that. Now, the next chest, the one that I just built, is actually going to go out in here. It's probably going to go all the way down the back here somewhere. So once again, you have to come all the way into the animal cage to actually get to the chests. And there's kind of little things like that that I'm hoping will make this feel a little bit more like it's actually an adventure. Now, at the back here, I've changed over all of my stalagmites and stalactites. Well, stalactites, I think these ones are. So all of these are now in brownstone, and they've actually increased the number that I've got around here. I've just kind of gone a little bit crazy with it and added just down a whole bunch of them because, hey, why not, right? We're going for the crazy cave type look around here, so that's what we've got going on. Now, I haven't actually yet managed to get to and change this grass. So this grass is all just orange grass still. I don't know about it. I don't think it looks great, so we're probably going to have to try and find a whole bunch of orange and red and yellow sand to put in there instead. But that's something that we'll do at a later date. Now, the next thing I want to do, it is nighttime, but the next thing I want to do is come over here and build the house that I'm then going to destroy to get the ruined house on top of this thing. Alright, here we are. Here is the ugly little house that we're going to completely and totally blow away to make the ruins that you start in. Now, I'm actually just going to add a few more blocks, I think across the middle here, just a little bit of like rafters almost. Yeah, I don't really know if I'm going to like those, but I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it is all going to get blown away anyway. And also, I've just realized that is slightly off-center, but you know what? Stuff it. It's going to get blown away right now, so it doesn't really matter. Also, I need to grab out my demolition pickaxe, which I think is in here. It might not be in here. Anyway, we're going to go quickly and set up our demolition pickaxe. This is in this chest. No, it is not in that chest. Obviously out over here. So the biggest problem with doing this thing is I've been slowly but surely storing things in lots of different chests around the place, and it does mean that I'm starting to lose track of where certain things are. Anyway, I'm going to find this pickaxe, because it is around here somewhere, I know. And we'll then destroy that little hut thing and start work on the rest of this build. Well, probably not. I think once we've destroyed the little hut thing, we're going to have to go through and maybe put a little bit more decoration in the hut. I've also got some destroyed windows around here. Oh, there's my pickaxe. Good. Good. Oh, that went really, really well. So anyway, I do have some windows, some boarded up windows. It might get placed down. We'll see how all of that ends up looking when we get to that point. I'm just trying not to destroy the ground right now. So that's looking pretty damn good. I like that a lot. So we're going to probably put like a window in here or something. And I probably need to go up here and give that a bash too. That's looking great. That can take a bit of a bash. This can take a real hammering. Perfect, perfect. Also, I don't like the door. The door is coming out. I don't really don't want that guy there. Yeah, that's probably about it. Although I kind of want to bash out a little bit more. Give it a little bit more of a destroyed, burnt out type feel. Yeah, check that out. That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, we're actually going to very quickly replace some of these blocks as well. Actually, I don't think I have enough. No, I don't have enough inkwood blocks for what I wanted to do. I was going to replace some of these blocks for broken up inkwood blocks, but I can't really do that because I don't have enough of those. So yeah, we're going to throw some of the actual decor that was supposed to be sitting in this thing around here, and then that is going to be about it for this little side project thing that we had going on. You can have big window there, and I think, yeah, where are we going to put this little guy? I think we're going to put this little guy about here somewhere. I think that'll do it. That is a pretty broken, beat-up looking house. I like that a lot. That is going really well. So this place is actually really starting to come together now. Having all of this gravel around here, getting that nice texture going on is really starting to make this place look really, really good. Anyway, I better crack on and keep doing a few bits and pieces because, like I said, there are a few little bits and pieces, like adding more chests and things around here that I want to get done before we get Boomkin's stream coming through. And I really don't have a lot of time to do that right now. So probably also going to end this episode up pretty soon because I am starting to run out of recording time as well and all of that good stuff. Anyway, yeah, we need to go through and do some more of that. Also, do want to mention again that I do need to go through and get some more red and orange sand, just personally for me, so that I have actually, the more I say it, the more likely I am to go through and do it. Anyway, that is just a little bit of a rant. We're going to craft up a few more things, place a few more things down, and that's probably going to be the end of this episode. So let's crack on. Alright, so here we go. A little bit more detail work has been done, so we're going to go for another final run through of this cave system. Now, once again, not really much has been touched over there. Nothing's really been touched up through here, but we go down into the dining hall area. So the dining hall itself is pretty similar, but then in here, we've got like a large barrel and just a little crate just to kind of complement the chest that we set down earlier, just so that it's not kind of on its own down in here. It looks like it's actually supposed to be there, which is kind of cool. Obviously got all of our cooking implements and stuff, and then up here we've just got a gigantic set of crates, just kind of supposed to be the food stores for these guys, because the idea is that this is supposed to be kind of a huge bandit encampment. Now, obviously I don't have the space inside the natural stone to build such a large thing, but anyway, it's going pretty well, and yeah, I think it's just more representative of what I want than actually what I want at this point. Although I am pretty happy with exactly how everything is gone. Now, over in here, I've also added in a crate in here and put a candle down on top of that because that looks really cool and also gives a lot of light down to this end of the room. I still need to find myself the little wall-mounted candle recipe so that I can actually put stuff up there as well and don't have to rely on torches quite as much, because of course that is one thing that I really don't like doing. In here we're still relying on torches. I didn't really get a chance to put much in there because that one is probably going to be the last one that gets full of decor items, I would say. And down in here we actually added a chest and moved the torch up just that little bit, just so that it actually sits up and away. You can actually see that that's supposed to be a chest there. If it's too close down, that chest is just completely and totally dark, and you can't really see what's going on in there. Now, finally, down in here, we're going in through here, and we find, we find a chest down at the very end down here, so you actually need to come all the way down into this little, like, beast den thing to get to that guy. Obviously, once again, if this was a real adventure, like a bear or a big something would spawn inside there, so you'd have to fight your way through to get that guy. Now, this thing that's going on here, eventually what I would really love to do is put one of the gates in here. That, I think, would look really awesome. But at the moment that's not happened. We're just going to leave that alone for right now. Down here I've also added a bit of a metal barricade. I was planning on putting a stack of barrels over in this corner as well, but I've kind of run out of time to do that. So yeah, this is how this place is going. Like I said, I am really happy with it. I think it's coming along really well. And of course, it is nighttime out here, so I can't really get a bit of a good long-range shot of this. It's going to come up well on YouTube, but I am just really happy. This thing is starting to look really good, and it is actually starting to look a lot like an adventure, and I think it's really down to this gravel and actually having a starting area that looks like it comes directly out of an adventure. I mean, check this place out. That looks really good. I do need to go through, get some more black sand, that is going to happen. I've got some desert keystones, and deserts are the way you go through and do that. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff going on, and it is going really, really well. Obviously, I've got a lot of material collecting to do between this episode and the next episode, and depending on what materials I can get my hands on, it will depend on what we go through and do. If I can get myself enough sand and enough gravel, we'll go through and finish off this main section. If I can't get enough sand, what we're going to be doing is getting some gravel and start building out over in this corner over here and building up a bit of a graveyard type deal, because that's the next trick that I want to get done around here. So yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think of this build and how it is all going down in the comments section below. And I will see you in the next episode.